Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is a weekly love reading for all signs. I have laid out a spread. Let's go straight to the bottom of the deck. Ooh. And we have the Emperor. The Emperor is the card of pride. It's also the card of being in charge. It's like the buck stops here. And underneath that, we have the Knight of Wands. The Emperor is the Aries card. Knight of Wands is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What it feels like to me is that there is part of you that really wants to take charge and take action this week. This is a love reading, so in terms of love, you're feeling like it's time to actually be proactive, perhaps. If you are an Aries, that's particularly relevant. I think you've had enough of waiting for things to happen. If you are a youngish masculine, also, I think you're feeling like it's time to do something about this. The business of love and finding what you want, or finding the person you want. Wands are cards of action. It feels like you're ready for your love life to actually begin. Yeah, so this is really for people who aren't currently in a relationship, I would say. Well, so far anyway. That's what it feels like. You're ready to take action and look for love. The Knight of Wands is off on a quest, if you like. He's off ready to explore and find what he's looking for. And in this case, he's looking for love. So a good start. At the centre, we have the Eight of Swords. This is feeling like you're stuck. And what is crossing that is the Two of Wands. This is looking out into the world to see what there is. So it could talk about the fact that maybe you're ready to start dating and looking for potential partners. The Eight of Swords is the card of feeling stuck. It's not actually being stuck. This person can leave this Circle of Swords. They just can't see that they can leave. So it feels a little bit like you need to take a slight leap of faith, really. Dip your toe into the water of dating, perhaps, and see what is out there, see who is available. On the face of things, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn Queen, also the Queen of knowing your own worth. If you are a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn feminine, then this is you in your best energy. If you are a feminine of any sign, this is good news. This means that you know what you're worth and you know what you're accepting moving forward. If you're a masculine watching, this could be who you have your sights set on. A fabulous woman who knows her own worth, possibly Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It could be, if you're a masculine, that you actually have your eye on somebody. This is a very steady energy. This person is complete, if you like. They're comfortable in their own skin. They know what they deserve. They know what they're looking for. They are just ready to receive love, I would say. Very ready. So that's lovely. That's what people can see. That's how it appears to other people. In the hidden position, it's a different matter. You've got options, but you're not sure you like any of them. There is an element of confusion here. Other people don't see this confusion. We also have Temperance here, which is an angel. This is a card of guidance. And we have the Nine of Cups. So we have a little bit of a conflict going on here. We have the Seven of Cups, which is the card of not being able to choose and not being sure of what is out there. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is the card of getting what you want. So what I believe this is saying is, I believe that you're being guided. Instead of looking out there and seeing that there is nobody that you want, I think the guidance is trying to tell you to be more positive, that there are potentials everywhere. This is really a card of being a bit smug. This is having everything that you wanted. Whereas this is a card of not being able to choose. So you're being guided this week, I think, into more positive thinking, I would say. So if you are tempted to set yourself up on a dating site or something, do it with a positive energy. Don't be thinking there's absolutely no one there and they're all rubbish, because the reality is, if you turn that feeling around and view it as a positive, you could end up finding what you're looking for. is the sort of feeling I'm getting. If you're a person who's not interested in dating per se, because maybe you've done it in the past and it didn't work for you and it doesn't feel right for you, you'd rather meet somebody by chance, then I think this is saying you have possibilities. You're not sure you've got possibilities because I think in the past, probably all the possibilities were not right for you. But the guidance here is saying that that is a negative way of looking at things, and the way to view things is that there are options. That's what you have. You have options going forward, particularly this week. So that's great. You're being given some guidance here by Temperance. Temperance is the card of balance. Temperance is allowing things to flow. So actually thinking about it, maybe perhaps in the past you put stops to things before they've had a chance to progress. And Temperance is here to say, allow things to flow naturally. Allow conversations to happen naturally. Allow meetings to occur naturally. Allow things to flow. Don't be negative. Don't put a big stop in place anytime you meet somebody finding there's something wrong with them. Be slightly more receptive than that and things will flourish. If you allow the energy, the loving energy that you are looking for, if you allow some of that loving energy within you to flow naturally, I suppose it's saying, meet every potential partner with a degree of hope. If you can do that rather than viewing everything as, oh, this person, they're not right for me, they can't be right for me. View it as, well, this person, there is potential here. Perhaps I should get to know them a bit better. It's that sort of feeling. It's allowing things to flow. It's really, I suppose, what it's saying is don't stop. Don't put a stop to interactions before you're really sure. Feeling like nobody is good enough is actually going to keep you on your own. And in a way, that's what this person is. Yes, they feel great in themselves. Yes, they've got everything they want, but they are alone. And so you could be looking for the perfect person and you could be writing everybody else off as not suitable, but then you are not seeing the bigger picture. That is what Temperance is saying. The guidance is to allow interactions to flow a bit better than you have been previously. In the past position, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is the card of clinging on too tightly to things that don't suit or serve you. And so that could be a past energy. You might have left that in the past, which would be good. Because really, these are opposite energies. This is clinging on tightly to what you had, and this is being accepting and comfortable with what you've got. So these are two opposites, really. So this is a good place to find the Four of Pentacles. It means that you are now able to be more receptive to different possibilities going forward. Your boundaries are less set in place, I would say. I think perhaps in the past you had some very heavily set boundaries, and those heavily set boundaries have left you stuck in a position where you can't find anyone. So good news. In the future position, we have somebody approaching. We have the Knight of Cups. This is the second night. If you are a feminine, you have possibilities. These are two younger than you masculines trying to approach, which is great news. The Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio Knight is the Knight of Cups. He is very sincere. He will have genuine love to offer, which is great news. Let's get a clarifier for that card, see if we can find out a bit more about him. Well, the Four of Cups has just plopped out here. And the Four of Cups is not being able to see the good things, really. It's not wanting what you have and not having what you want. So these are in opposition to each other. So it could be that this masculine approaches and you think, oh, that's not what I'm looking for, but it's genuine anyway. Or it could be that what you're looking for is preventing a genuine offer from coming in. And that feels a bit more like it to me. And it was what I was just saying. Remove any very heavily set boundaries because they're keeping you in check. I mean, if we look at these three cards in succession, in the past you had some heavily set boundaries that were holding you in place. In the present, you're being held in place. And in the future, if you can't recognize a genuine offer, whether it be somebody that, you know, that doesn't quite match up to your expectations, if you can't spot that, then of course the genuine offer is not going to come in. So this is really saying you need to have a look at your boundaries this week. And if you've had some very heavily set boundaries in place, possibly for your own protection, then, and that has served you well up until this point, I think in the future, in order to accept in some genuine love offers, you might need to remove some or release some, or just let some of them loosen a bit. Let some of those boundaries loosen, and then you will feel less tied and less stuck in this position. You'll be able to walk free and properly see the options that are out there for you. I think so. In the personal position, yeah, we have the card of resistance. It's all saying the same thing. On the face of things, you're fine, you're comfortable, you know your own worth. But the knowing of your own worth has kept you stuck in a way. I think that was necessary for a lot of you in order to recognise your own worth. I think you've had to put some rigid boundaries in place, and I think that's been really valuable. But I think what you have not recognised is that now you do know your own worth, you don't need such rigid boundaries. You don't need to be resisting everybody, because you're going to be able to be more discerning naturally. So this card of resistance is not really necessary. So in an ideal world, you should just be allowing things to flow, as I've said before. Don't resist the energy that is now flowing towards you. If you are looking for love, and this is a love reading, this is telling you to stop being resistant to the flow of love that can come towards you, because come towards you is what is going to happen. So don't be resistant to that offer coming in. That's in the future position. So I believe what it's saying this week, you've got a little bit of work to do on yourself in order to loosen up some of your rigid boundaries in order to allow a love offer to come in. I think so. And I think for some of you, you'll find that quite easy, because don't forget, we had the card of taking action at the start. I'm also minded that we had the Emperor at the start, and this is quite a rigid card, I would say. A card of rigid beliefs and boundaries and structures. And actually what you're really wanting to do is to shake off some of that rigidity that you've had in place to protect you, and allow something else to come in. Allow some love to flow in, which is great. And in the home position, we have the card of new love. So love is coming home is what this literally means, or that there is love at home, or your home is lovely. Let's take a clarifier. Well, we have two here. The Star and the Seven of Swords. Well, the Star is having your wishes come true. The Seven of Swords is a secret energy. This is the card of affairs, probably. Something that is wanted or needed to be kept hidden. Well, now these two cards are clarifying love in the home position. So perhaps if you've been in some sort of relationship or situationship or affair that had to be hidden, it could be that your wish was for the love to be at home with you, or more visible, I suppose, then that wish might be coming true. If you've been in some sort of secret relationship in the past and you felt like it was love and you wanted your dreams to come true, but it had to stay secret, I wonder what that means. Maybe it means you've changed your wish. Perhaps you've changed your wish, and maybe you're not wishing for that relationship anymore. Maybe you're wishing for something better than what was previously a secret affair. I think so. So I suppose what it's saying is the sort of wishes coming true, real love that you want, does not start off as a secret. It doesn't continue as a secret. You have to feel at home with it, I think is what it's saying. So that's good. That feels like you've made some sort of progress. It feels like you know that that's not what you want anymore, which is good news. In the hopes and fears position, we have the card of joy and happiness. You're hoping to feel joy and happiness, and that is what you're going to feel. But I'm coming back here. You can't feel joy and happiness in a secret affair. And so really, I'm tempted to move this up to the fear position. You know, you can't have both these cards at once. If it's a secret affair, it is not going to make you happy long term. Yeah. So something needs to alter. It feels, well, I'm going to put that one there like that, because these 4 cards feel sort of intertwined. In fact, I'm going to take the 4 of them and try and read them together instead. Wishing for a big, bold, new love is what you want. That is what is going to make you happy. And in no way, shape or form can that be a secret. You cannot have happiness and a secret at the same time. That is not, even if it feels like it's okay for now, that is not going to work long term. And so in order to have your wishes coming true, to find a real love connection, to be genuinely happy, then that secret energy has to be gone. You have to rid yourself of that secret energy. That's what I believe that is saying to me. And after all, you know, you are looking for love. You want somebody to come in with a genuine offer. That is what you are wishing for. So don't accept anything that is any way, shape or form secret or illicit in any way. The outcome, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Yep, you're waiting for something good to arrive. You are ready. You are ready to take a dive off the deep end, really. The Fool is a careless, carefree energy. So you're waiting for, I'm going back to Temperance. You're waiting for the energy to flow towards you. You're ready to take a leap of faith. And we have 2 more cards at the outcome. You're ready to take a leap of faith into a brand new relationship that has got the potential to sustain you. That is what you want. That is what you've been working towards. That is what you've been waiting for. That is what you are looking for. That is what you want to take action on this week. That is who you are hoping is coming in. Somebody that you can have a genuine love connection with. But the moon came with it as well. The moon for me is sometimes a timing card, and it can talk about a month. So it could be that there is the potential for a genuine partnership to start this week. I don't think it's going to get very far this week, but I think over the course of the month, it could develop into what you've been hoping for. But the moon is also a veiled energy, and so you can't see things clearly. You're waiting for the right person to come in. You don't currently feel like you can see them. So that's why you're feeling like you want to take action and take a leap of faith and do something slightly radical, really. So it's joining a dating site, it's going on dates, meeting people, or it's going somewhere else and trying a new approach to dating and to love in general. And that is what you are hoping is going to bring you in the true connection. And I believe that's true. I think you are going to end up with a true connection that you want. So this week, really, just to recap, we've been talking about needing to loosen some of the expectations and boundaries that you have had that have held you in place. You are in a really good energy. You know what you're worth, and you know what you want. So the rigid boundaries don't need to be there. You'll be able to vet people much more effectively if you loosen off some of these boundaries. And it will allow the love energy to flow towards you, which is what you want. It'll give you options, and it'll mean that actually having these rigid boundaries might have kept you safe for a while, but it has also kept you single. And so the options are important for you. So make sure that you're allowing yourself to properly have a good look at what is out there. There is potential for 2 masculines to be coming in, actually. There's great potential. They're both probably a bit younger than you. But the whole reading is leading towards a love pairing. It doesn't really feel like you can see it yet, which is why you want to take action and possibly try something a bit radical in order to bring it in. But ultimately, your wishes are going to come true. And this week is the start of loosening off some of the ties that have kept you held in place and releasing some of those very tight boundaries will allow you to find what you're looking for. The only thing you need to resist is secret energy, because that is not going to make you happy. So this is a really, really, really practical reading, I would say. Loosen up some of your boundaries and give more people a bit of a fair chance. And that is going to allow the loving energy to flow more effectively for you and will ultimately bring in some offers that you can vet yourself as and when they turn up. Bottom of the deck now we have death. Death is an inevitable change. It is sweeping through. Just by loosening some of these boundaries that you've had them in place on purpose to keep you safe, I believe, which has served its purpose really well, because you now know your own worth and you know what you want and you know what you will and won't accept. So you can loosen some of your boundaries now and allow the changes to sweep on through that are going to bring you happiness long term and will also help you to come into connection, into true partnership. You can do that this week. Just loosen up some of your tight boundaries this week and it will make a big difference in allowing the loving energy to flow towards you. Well, I really hope so, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.